It's Thursday, June 5th. In the headlines, government to introduce tougher penalties for crimes targeting critical telecom infrastructure. And work is underway on 78 roads in the $45 billion Spark program. In business news, Sagicor puts First Rock real estate development into receivership. Regionally, St. Lucian health officials warn of new, highly contagious COVID-19 strain. And in sports, Jamaica Basketball Association is seeking to recruit more NBA stars for the national team. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, who also chairs the National Disaster Risk Management Council, has announced plans for new legislation aimed at protecting telecommunications providers from criminal activity. He says the government intends to impose harsher penalties on offenders who target critical infrastructure such as fuel supplies, generators, copper wiring, fiber optics, and repeaters. Speaking at a council meeting on Wednesday, Dr. Holness highlighted that while telecommunication companies have been instrumental in maintaining communication during emergencies, they remain vulnerable to theft and sabotage. This move follows an assessment of weakness exposed during last July's Hurricane Beryl.
Someone goes and steals 50 gallon, 100 gallon of fuel. That repeater cell site goes down. The person who steals, gets whatever he gets. I don't know how much they get for that fuel. They probably sell it at half price. But everybody else is without. The commerce that doesn't get to go through. Right? Somebody in an emergency need to call a hospital or get some emergency service. That one thief would have put an entire community at risk.
Dr. Holness also reaffirmed the government's commitment to maintaining transparent and accountable systems during disaster response efforts. He cautioned against assumptions that emergency situations allow the government to bypass regulations concerning public resource management.
For the citizen in distress to ask for ID, identification, you might be saying, my house blew down, all the documents lost, why are you coming to ask me about ID and so forth? After disaster has passed and it goes to the committee of Parliament, it is the same citizens who are going to say that, and represented by their parliamentarians, that the government gave grants to people who didn't exist.
In preparation for the upcoming hurricane season, the Prime Minister urged citizens to safeguard their personal identification documents and keep copies accessible. He emphasized the importance of accurate information on official IDs, including the Taxpayer Registration Number, TRN, which can facilitate faster verification and assistance during disasters.
Your ID may be a physical document. Protect that. Put that in a safe place. Put it in a Ziploc bag. If you have to keep it on your person, protect it. But your ID, in a sense, is also digital and not exclusive to you. Well, it's exclusive to you, but it's not held by you alone. So, for example, if you have your TRN number and you are able to tell us what your TRN number is, we can go and check to verify that, this is a TRN number, and then we can go through a process of verifying who you are.
He encouraged Jamaicans to ensure their personal details are up to date to enhance the speed and effectiveness of emergency responses. Jamaica is stepping up its disaster readiness with stronger hurricanes and floods threatening small islands like ours. The government is boosting emergency communications through a major partnership with Japan. The new digital radio system aims to ensure first responders can stay connected, even when cell service fails. We learn more in part 1 of this JIS feature.
Jamaica is no stranger to the powerful forces of nature. From hurricanes and floods to landslides, these natural disasters remind us of the importance of readiness.
So we have mainstreamed in our governance disaster preparedness and readiness as a means of building resilience against the climate change issues that affect small island developing states like Jamaica.
In terms of the National Disaster Risk Management Framework, it's actually one of the best, if not the best in the Americas.
We are in the best place we have ever been in our history in terms of our state of readiness.
When disaster strikes, all eyes turn to the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM. In a crisis, effective and reliable communication is of utmost importance. That's why the government, through ODPEM, has forged a partnership with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, to strengthen the island's emergency communication system. The ODPEM-JICA collaboration aims to improve the emergency communication infrastructure in Jamaica by installing wireless communication systems and relevant equipment, thereby contributing to swift and robust communication between first responders and government offices to respond efficiently to emergencies or disaster.
Decom management is Spanish Town Fire Station. This is the radio check. How do you read? Over.
We are putting in place the necessary infrastructure for us to respond to these disasters. We would have already put in place all the necessary radios in their various locations. The Jamaica Fire Brigade, the police, every arm of government is equipped to communicate before and after. And this is a game changer for the people of Jamaica.
You don't want a system where you are relying on cell phones for communication. We saw what happened in Beryl, where a lot of the cell towers went and there was communication blackout in some areas across the country. What you want to ensure is that there are redundancy to your communication, and our radio network gives us that kind of redundancy. In terms of the design, it is robust enough that allows us that if one of the nodes go down, we're still able to communicate across the country, and it gives us roughly probably 98% coverage across the island.
78 roads are being worked on as part of the government's $45 billion shared prosperity through accelerated improvement to our road network, SPARK program, aimed at transforming Jamaica's infrastructure. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Robert Morgan, who oversees works, provided an update on the program during his contribution to the 2025-2026 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on June 3. Some recently completed roads include Orange Grove Road in St. Andrew North Central, Richings Avenue in St. Andrew Northeastern, New North Street in West Kingston, Doherty Drive in East St. Andrew, Maho Drive and Susan Avenue in St. Catherine Southeastern, Ransford Close and Jasmine Close in St. Catherine East Central, and Northeast 14th and 15th Streets in St. Catherine Southern. Mountain Pass, St. Catherine Northeastern, New Nursery in St. Catherine Eastern, and Bellevue Avenue in East Kingston and Port Royal. Minister Morgan says Spark is not only upgrading roads, but also modernizing infrastructure by improving road safety, reducing travel times, and lowering vehicle operating costs.
Madam Speaker, I want to indicate we are investing in the capacity building to prepare the next generation of engineers, planners, project managers, and this is being made possible through the Spark program.
The initiative has also generated approximately 13,000 jobs in the construction sector and is delivering an estimated $1.3 billion in savings from reduced vehicle repairs caused by poor road conditions. More than 29,000 Jamaicans were sensitized about restorative justice during the 2024-2025 fiscal period. That's the word from Justice Minister Delroy Chuck. He shared the information during his contribution to the 2025-2026 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
We had 1,900 case conferences, and we had 1,500 settled agreements to resolve conflicts and disputes.
Minister Chuck notes that the annual Restorative Justice Week, which took place in the first week of February this year, was used as a public awareness campaign for advancing justice. It showcased the proven possibilities of restorative justice to resolve conflicts in Jamaica. Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. On Wednesday, Sagicor Bank Jamaica issued a press release that it has placed the lands under mortgages for the Hambani Estate development owned by First Rock Real Estate Investments into receivership. The estimated outstanding debt is thought to be in excess of $1 million. First Rock Real Estate says it is working to refinance the Sagicor Bank facility, which has now reached maturity. The luxury Hambani Estate project, situated at 1-3 Bamboo Avenue in Kingston 6, is about 90% complete. It features 12 standalone villas designed to appeal to the ultra-wealthy. Out of the 12, one of the units sold for approximately $1.4 million. First Rock Real Estate has since been shifting its focus away from Jamaica to other Caribbean markets in recent times due to the slowdown in the domestic market. It is now focusing on the Cayman Islands and Costa Rica for prospective growth opportunities. Shane Monroe, CEO of MBJ Airports, which operates the Sangster International Airport, tells RJR News that the company will be investing $11 million to overhaul the airport. This will include physical expansion, digital transformation, and rethinking of how the airport will serve travelers. The major projects to be implemented include an expansion of the East Concourse, which will lead to an expansion of the airport's lounge by 1,500 square meters and the addition of 2 new aircraft stands, bringing the total to 21. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, JSSE, is on a mission to transform the third economy, which is a profit-driven mandate to use the same profits to build communities. Ms. Nora Blake, manager for the JSSE, is here to tell us more.
Thank you for having me, Denise. And indeed, it's my pleasure to talk about the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, because many people struggle to understand social stock exchange. They understand stock exchange because that's where you buy and trade in equities. So the social stock exchange was set up to mobilize resources into the social sector. what you refer to as the third economy. So the social sector, people say, what is social sector? You're talking about foundations,
yes,
NGOs, civil society organizations, benevolent societies, cooperatives, social enterprises, yeah, in a broad sweep. So we were set up to mobilize our resources, and also we are there to help build the capacity of the participants in the sector.
And that's training.
Yes, and we call them social sector organizations, SSOs, because one of the need that the social sector has, which is common to the MSME sector, is the capacity to manage and to hold and to attract financing. So oftentimes you hear they will cry that we just can't get financing, but when you go behind the veil, oftentimes you find that they have the need for governance. They have the need for training in business management, project management, financial training. So we do offer that as a basic part of what we do at the Social Exchange for all our projects.
But you're doing something new.
Yes, so right now we're focusing on the objective of mobilizing resources, because that has been a bit challenging for us in that we have projects on the exchange. We started with 5, 2 have been fully funded and they're off. So we have 3 exciting projects that are on the exchange, but the fact is that it has taken us some time for them to be fully funded. We'd like to see them fully funded, and I'll tell you more about them. And then we have a whole pipeline of applicants, of persons who are interested. So we're focusing now on upping the ante of mobilizing resources.
Thank you so much, Nora. And we're supporting the social economy that covers NGOs, charitable organizations, foundations, people who are doing the work to make this a better country. For the trading period ending June 4, 2025, these are the most actively traded stocks. Toll Road Manager, Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited, with 2,401,594 units traded, representing 26.29% of market sales volume. Finance firm Lasco Financial Services Limited, with 1,112,181 units traded, representing 12.17% of market sales volume. Investment firm Sagicor Select Funds Limited, Financial, with 987,752 units traded, representing 10.81% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On June 4, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $58.95 million purchased and US $45.76 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.52 per dollar, selling the US at $160.35 and buying the US at $158.83. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $1.89 per transaction, with selling at $118.20 and buying at $116.31. The British pound yielded Forex traders $13.75 in profit, with selling at $196.62 and buying at $210.37. For our credit report tip of the day, if you're serious about building a digital business, it's time to align your financial documents, organize your spending, and position your credit to work for you. Lenders, platforms, and partners look for signals of financial readiness, and a clean, well-managed credit profile is one of the strongest signals you can send. When you take strategic action to improve your credit, you unlock access to the funding tools and systems that can power your business from idea to income. Here are some suggestions. Set a 90-day credit improvement goal. Make all payments on time, automate them if you need to. Keep your credit card usage under 30% of the limit. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
Thanks, Denise. In regional news, St. Lucia's health officials are on high alert, closely monitoring a new COVID-19 variant, NB181, that's rapidly spreading across several continents. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar-George says the highly transmissible strain, now present in 22 countries, is being tracked by the World Health Organization as global cases triple. While the risk remains low, health authorities are urging the public to stay vigilant ahead of increased travel and gatherings this summer. More details in this report.
St. Lucia's health officials issued an urgent statement Tuesday evening announcing close monitoring of the new SARS-CoV-2 variant NB181, which the World Health Organization, WHO, is also tracking. Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, Chief Medical Officer, provided details on the new strain. She says the WHO is closely monitoring the new variant, noting its potential impact on infections and hospitalizations.
According to the World Health Organization, from the period April 14th to May 11th, 2025, 91 countries have reported 91,583 cases of COVID-19, which represents a threefold increase. Widespread transmission of NB181 is observed with higher case counts and hospitalizations.
The highly contagious NB181 variant has been detected in 22 countries across Europe, Asia, and North America. Dr. Belmar-George emphasized the importance of continued vigilance despite the official end of the global COVID-19 pandemic.
Although relatively new, with limited information, current data indicates that NB181 does not cause more severe illness than the present circulating variants, and the global and Caribbean regional public health risk at this time is assessed to be low. Early information shows that NB181 variant exhibits increased transmissibility compared to earlier strains of the virus, indicating that it spreads more easily from person to person.
Dr. Belmar-George explained that while the variant is relatively new, its transmissibility from person to person is a key concern. With the summer months approaching and an expected increase in travel and social gatherings, she is urging the public to take precautions.
The public is advised on the following. Wash hands frequently or use hand sanitizers. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Do not attend social activities if you are feeling unwell with respiratory symptoms. Visit your healthcare provider for management of your signs and symptoms. Consider wearing a mask in public, especially if you have flu-like symptoms. Maintain general healthy habits to reduce the impact of viral illnesses.
In response to the recent tripling of global COVID-19 cases, the Ministry of Health has intensified surveillance, testing efforts, and public health messaging across St. Lucia. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.
Barbados is making a major step in linking climate change and public health. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Kenneth George says the country is now validating its National Adaptation Plan, a roadmap that could unlock new healthcare funding. Barbados joins Grenada and St. Lucia in advancing health national adaptation plans.
The roadmap involves several sectors, so it's not only health involved in it, and it identifies several of our vulnerabilities, including, and this is no particular order, natural disasters, which and the hurricane season is approaching, the relationship between climate change and NCDs, relationship with climate change and mosquito-borne illness, the relationship with climate change and mental health. It affects almost every facet of life. So we have done a lot of work, and we've reached a stage where we have completed the HNAP, which is the Health National Adaptation Plan. Health has been fairly advanced in the process, and I would dare say we have gone ahead the national process, because we have a plan and we have it funded and all kind of things. The only challenge we are having on our end is a human resource challenge, because to
As we expand our footprint, we need more able-bodied people to work with developmental agencies, etc., to make the plan function.
We open our sports report with basketball. Preliminary discussions are ongoing for additional NBA players with Jamaican heritage to join Jamaica's national basketball team, continuing the recruit efforts led by the Jamaica Basketball Association, JABA. JABA President Paulton Gordon expressed optimism that more NBA talents will consider representing Jamaica as the team aims to become a competitive force in FIBA competitions and secure its first ever Olympic qualification. Already, Los Angeles Clippers star Norman Powell and Minnesota Timberwolves guard Josh Minot have committed to playing for Jamaica. Both players are expected to participate in the FIBA World Cup America's pre-qualifiers scheduled for August. FIBA is short for Federation International de Basketball. FIBA rules are different from NBA's. Most notably, FIBA plays feature 4 10-minute quarters and just 5 fouls before disqualification. In football, head coach of the Trinidad and Tobago senior men's football team, Dwight York, has expressed confidence in his squad ahead of their World Cup qualifier versus St. Kitts and Nevis. Having recently named a 26-man roster, Coach York will now have to trim his squad to 23 before Friday's match.
A new era of Trinidad and Tobago football. This from National Senior Men's head coach Dwight York after selecting a 26-man squad ahead of TNT's all-important World Cup qualifier versus St. Kitts and Nevis. York is urging this current crop of players to take up the mantle and wants them to become household names.
And again, let me stress, this is a new era of Trinidad and Tobago football. The likes of myself and probably Russell and Shaka and Stern, we had, sort of controlled the Trinidad faces for about nearly 3 decades. I think it's time for us to move on, give the youngsters an opportunity to then embrace what is ahead of taking Trinidad and Tobago football forward. We want the public to join in and knowing these players because they may not be household name in many respects, like when myself and Russell playing for these household names in England. These players are playing at a very good standing and one that can potentially get us to the World Cup. So, reaching out to the public, reaching out to the supporters who are coming in, the younger generation, the older generation, to buy into this team.
The head coach reiterated that he isn't taking the opponents in Kitts and Nevis lightly.
Certainly we study every opposition that we play, and certainly St. Kitts Nevis is not going to be like any other team. We know what is at stake. We need to tick this box. We need a result at home. We have the home advantage. We know that they're going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult game in every aspect. We need to be at our best. We need to perform. The players know there is no complacency in this team. You have to earn the right to play for Trinidad and Tobago, and that is the kind of culture I want to build here. And we know if we perform and perform to our ability, we will get a result.
York sang the praises of Captain Kevin Molino, who has been a key member of the national team since coming out of retirement last year.
I seen a person when I first came in, he wasn't fit, he wasn't looking, like the Molino of all of what people have said. What I've seen a transition from a player who I thought maybe have passed it and that question mark was there, to now seeing a player of real leadership, quality player, and it shows just in its stats that you mentioned. I've seen somebody who has that experience and control and guidance and respect within this team. And as a former captain, I've seen that. I've seen some similarity in him, and he's done a fantastic job. And I think that you will see the best of Molino to come.
TNT squad has a few players who would be hoping to make their debut come Friday. And Coach York has stated that more new names are set to join their ranks going forward to their second qualifier versus Costa Rica on June 10th. Adrian Lazar, TTT Sport.
And that's the news on PBCJ. Pleasant viewing.